Okay, I think we're live. G'day, everybody. Welcome back. This is episode 3 of Draft Doctors. I have my good mate Griff here back again to help me look at some of the community league, community teams that are in different positions in their leagues and just have a quick chat about it. Offer some advice, assess like where they are on the table, and I think we've got some interesting ones that are one in particular that is looking to is willing to blow things up to make things happen, which is definitely like one of the harder things to do in draft. So we'll get there and have a chat about that. We won't do too much of a prelude because Griff and I have made a bad habit of talking too much draft before we press record, so we run out of steam. But guys, Griff did mention to me in our chat last week, or I think it might have been the week before or early last week, that he was sniffing around Tommy Turbo. And I thought, well, maybe if he's looking for Tommy Turbo, then he needs to be in Draft Doctors himself. No, just joking.
I do. I actually do. I do. I actually think I do, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'd actually love you to actually look at my team as a draft doctor.
Yeah, I was thinking that would be a good Friday Arvo one if we had
just do like it's hard with Noble because me and him are in the same league.
True, he doesn't want to. Yeah, maybe I should just sit there and look at both your teams and shoot shots out.
You probably should. You probably should, but yeah.
No, but then you explained again that you're in flex, and when I keep looking, Griff, at the stats in Draft Oracle about like the finals runs like that I've got, Manly, dude. And I just think to myself, God, if like I traded for Walsh and I needed 2 big games from him in them opportunities he had, and he didn't really deliver. Like, of course, he hit above his average.
Though. It's
par.
It's about par.
Am I crazy if I go offer Walsh for Tommy and just go like, I've got Iongi to get me, and if Tommy's there, and it's like the in-game injury risk, it's a bit rude. But
it's as risky as it gets, bro. Yeah, I know.
And I hate everyone will be like, Hudson, that's blasphemy, mate. You hate Tommy, you like Tommy, and I'm like, yeah, I know. But
here's a good one.
Yeah,
go on your Draft Oracle now and have a look at what Tommy has done so far in Fosball.
Yeah.
How many games of Fosball has he actually played?
Has he? Has he
played?
I don't
know. I think he played. He might have only played the one game. I don't know.
I'll have a look now.
It's been that long. Like, what's he been out since? Like, round 5, round 6, something like that.
Yeah, 7, I think, but close. Yeah. And they're playing good footy. And look what Lolo did as a smaller body who's less.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. And like, even though I was chasing Turbo, I'm just chasing name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. But what worried me with Turbo was like the hammy was like you would have seen it. I assume it was in a tackle. It wasn't even like at full speed. It was like he just like held 2 dudes up, put his right leg down in the middle of the field, and then he just did it. And I'm like, man, if you're doing that, like, let's have a quick look. I'll try and share screen and see if we can chat about Tommy real quick. For anyone who hasn't seen, this is the new research database that's available to Draft Oracle users. So you just search Tommy Trbojevic and you get a breakdown. So yeah, he played 7 games, 12 minutes in round 7.
Take that out. And then I think round 1, 2, and 4 were with Seabold.
Yeah. Okay. So 76.
Okay, so 72 and 81.
It's total. And well, that 72 was in the 47 minutes.
In 47 minutes as well.
Holy heck, yeah. We'll fill those back in because he's a freak. Yeah, dude, I love the spread here, but it's just the risk, man.
He's as risky as it gets. But if you you only need him until around 26.
I know, bro. You just need
27, whatever you find.
And even if you've got like me and you've got Iongi who does a job, you only need him for like 2 or 3 weeks out of the 4 healthy to just get you wins. And then what you just can't risk is the in-game one.
That's right.
The one that kills you, mate.
Yeah.
But I just keep coming down here and I just go 23, 26. And he doesn't populate as a fullback because he's injured. But like, it's like Lehigh, it's Tolo Kula, dude. It's, there should be our boy, Hamole Olakawatu. It's just all Manly. It's just nuts. I think if we go the team run, Manly's elite. I think they're actually higher. This is so what I've got here, which is really interesting for people to see too before we kick off, is round 26. The SOS is weighted for spine and edge. Fullback and halves carry 40% of the score. It ranks the fantasy environment, not the team quality. So just basically their defenses that they're playing.
Yeah, right.
So when you see this, guys, I don't want a gun matchup for, you might say, Payne Haas or Terrell, but like I don't really want props and locks and hookers that are tackling everyone. Them to like skew the balance. I want to know for edges and spine players what the matchup is, because that's who we rely on for upside more so, right? So
Yeah,
I just
that's
drop
fair.
out
Exactly.
I drop out the tackle bots basically here, as you can see, weighted for spine and edge, because I want to know, like, in the key positions that people chase with trades, who has the best finals runs. So this is it, and Manly are well and truly in there under Fosball. One other thing I want to touch on for people listening is I was reading some of the only advanced NRL analysis that you can actually get on the internet, because NRL is more of just a punters and dribblers type sport. Unfortunately, we're not at the NFLs and the baseballs and the NBAs yet. But one person was talking about that actually not a lot's changed from a structure or a analytics perspective from Fosball to from Seabold to Fosball. I think the boys are just buying in more, which is really
Yeah.
funny. Like, they do a lot of the same stuff, a lot of the same shapes and structures, and play the ball speeds, and all this is all a bit similar. They're just playing harder, and
Yeah. I don't think.
hope
Well,
that
I don't think.
lasts.
Yeah, exactly. But I hope. I think like even with Seabold, like they did some real good attack and plays, and
Yeah.
really Seabold has always been a pretty good attack coach.
Yep.
Like even his first year at the Rabbitohs,
Yeah.
when they got top four, he was amazing with their attack. Like he
Yeah.
completely
Exactly.
changed. That's when they used to just go that shift left, and Cody to AJ was just like, it was just automatic. Every time they
100%.
went left, it was just try. So.
Yeah.
So Seabold, yeah, as an attack coach, yeah, 100%. So basically, what you're saying is they've just tightened up the defense.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think they just fight harder
Yeah,
with the play that, like, play the
yeah,
ball with their carries, and that they're bending the line more and whatnot. So yeah, and they've also had health, despite losing Tommy and a few things like Fogarty in and out, but they've had like Paseka healthy all year. When's he
yeah,
been healthy for this long before? Like, I
yeah.
can't
It's been
remember.
a while. It's been a
So
long
that's
time.
huge to have your biggest guy rolling. That
Yeah,
how Foz has made Wakeham work, I'll never know, because I saw that bloke at the airport when
yeah.
I flew
Same.
to I flew to Japan last year. I saw him at the airport, and I was like, "How are you an NRL player?" I was like,
Yeah.
I felt twice his size standing next to him. It's just crazy, but it's working for him. So,
Well, they're
um,
getting good go forward even out of their small forwards now. So like even like Kobe Hetherington coming to them, you know, he's a
yeah,
shorter
agreed.
sort of stockier bloke. It just suits the PBL ball, as we
Dude, he's
say as
got great
well.
leg
You know.
speed. Yeah, he's got great leg speed. I think Kobe Hetherington, if people like don't understand the value of him, if you watch the Broncos YouTube thing where they review the grand final, you listen to how many of them yell out when Kobe runs, mentioning the quality of his runs and how he kind of gets in behind the ruck with just that, and he just makes 2 yards, like not even 2 meters, 2 yards
Yeah,
on like a nice angle in behind the ruck that just gets them on the front foot over the ad line.
Cam
So
Murray's been doing
it
it for
works.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true. Yeah,
it's just
he's a better
the
version. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, the quick play the ball. Yeah, just amazing how much it changes the
True,
outlook of your
exactly.
team.
All right, we'll dive in. Team one, my mate, I'm just going to pull it up, is
Let's go.
Michael Knight, who I think is a return visitor and someone who's been very supportive on Substack. So thanks, Michael. He's sitting ninth of, I think, 12. So pretty tough. He didn't include in the screenshot his like latest wins, losses.
Yep.
But yeah, I will hand to you, mate. Like, what I see just quickly is just like relatively a well-rounded team missing some strikes. So what's your read on Michael's team, and where he's out in the ladder, and what are some initial thoughts and things that you see that he could explore?
Yeah, it's exactly that. Like the team's pretty well rounded. Obviously Hooker is a need if you wanted to go down that route, but because you've got so many, players on your bench and all that sort of stuff, you sort of, you sort of got to figure out whether you want to play hooker for the rest of the year or not. It depends if you're playing auto emergencies or not. But at this point, it's either buy a hooker or run the auto emergency for me. So that might mean that he needs to strip back a couple of plays, which also means that you can go forward with trying to do 2-for-1s or 3-for-2s to try and upgrade as well, and not sort of worry about being a roster spot down or two. So like my thing to move, like just on a basis of like not upgrading, but just like getting specific needs. Like say you wanted to just go for a hooker like JMK or like even Max Plaff or something like that. I mean, you could be just going Wilton, maybe even Isaiah Katoa. Like the fact that you got Brown and you got Trindle, you sort of surplus there. But like I get it with injuries and all that sort of stuff. Like you got real good cover there. But if you Treaded Water at 6 and 7, ninth on the table. You've just got to go for it to me. And for me, that just means that you got to stop thinking about depth. You just got to worry about picking up, the scraps off waivers and free agencies to try and get you through weeks if you do end up having an injury. So, I mean, to me, potentially even Couchman or Terrell May might need to be blown up just to try and get some upside in those outside backs, because the CT dubs are real shot there. Like, I know Karapani and Anderson can do a job and can, have a good week or so, but it's just not sustainable for that type of layer. And like even Cam Pereira, like, his floor is that low, you know what I mean? That even his upside is, it's hit and miss with that floor. So I would be trying to rebuild the back line. I think the halves are fine to just keep Brown and Trindle. And then even the back row, like, don't get me wrong, you don't need to get rid of a Wilton or Ben Turbo's just having a great season. Fafita's there. I mean, they're sellable if you wanted to go, if you didn't want to get rid of May or Couchman, but you got Dylan Egan there as well. You know what I mean? So maybe you do go for a 2RF to try and just get a well, actually, the fact that you got even Couchman there, you know what I mean? You could move Couchman back down to 2RF as well. So yeah, look, there's things you can do, but it's just what path you're willing to take and how much risk you're willing to play with. You know me, I take a lot of risk. And at 6 and 7, I'd be willing to blow up at least one of my big guns and try to see what I can get, even to get 2 or 3 to 1 for a Team A or a Couchman, and just try to build up those outside backs. And as I said, you probably need to start targeting those, not the finals runs now. You need to target the from today until finals.
Yes.
They're the runs that you need to be looking at right now.
Yeah, no, generally agree. From a tool perspective, like the strategy makes sense, and then from a tool perspective, in the Draft Oracle, you're not looking at your final schedule. Use the flip and fetch module,
flip and fetch, 100%.
because it shows you from wherever we're at to the start of finals. So use that to see targets, and then use like the 3-round, 5-round. It has players and teams that are about to go on a hot run. Use those, so they're right there to be used. Just pick a name and go. So so I agree with Griff. Like I usually would be like, yep, no, I love the forwards. Like, just hammer that in. But like that back line, there could genuinely be 2 weeks of the next 6 where those guys, all of them drop 30 points and you lose because your backs all score 30.
100%.
So you've done well to grab Egan in a league this deep.
Yeah.
And I hope that's as a result of my content. So if not, that's fine, but I hope it is. McEwen hasn't been what I had hoped this year, but we've seen flashes, and you've got the Dylan Brown stack with him, which I like, because how good is their offense? And I know McEwen runs a lot of the decoy there, but man, he does a job. So like them two, I'd be selling high on Ben Trbojevic. Obviously, he's amazing, but his finals run doesn't matter to you because, like, you may not make it. So like a guy, he's a guy that like I wouldn't care if I didn't have, but his scoring's been so good you could get value back. What you'd want to be thinking of doing, in my opinion, I think I would probably keep Couchman and May, because at least they're captaincy options for in a league this deep. You win more weeks than not captaining May. But first of all, get rid of Brandon Smith, go back, grab Crossland again, that I know you dropped for him, which I said don't do that, but you did that. So get off Brandon Smith. He's too risky in-game injury and the minutes aren't there. I would package like a Ben Trbojevic or a Wilton off like the recent good scores with a Karapani or something if you can. Don't trade Sammy because of the buy coverage, and he's pretty good, and the Titans actually have like a good finals run if you do make it. His name value might not be there. I think Karapani will have a bit of buzz maybe as the Broncos stuff. Even Cam Pereira off the high scores. Package the 2RF with the wing and just get a better winger. Get a better upgrade out there somewhere. Like a guy to buy low would be like Lehigh Hopewade. A couple of bad scores from Lehigh 100%. Recently. Great guy to get. Mulatalo, the boat sailed, obviously. I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head.
Dom Young, potentially.
Yeah, a couple of low scores-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, what I mean, it's the other ones is probably a bit too high, really. But
yeah, that's the range. That's fine though. Just anyone that can score 100, right, is sort of what you want. And Lehigh can get there. Dom Young's is really good. A little, maybe too many nights, but I think they play the 18. I think they don't play 19. So just check your nights by so you don't have like 5 of them. But don't mind the Dom Young one, especially for a double. Someone might, if they're stacked, look at your league map on Oracle and go like, who actually has a surplus of CT dubs that doesn't have 2RFs, or vice versa, and just go and say, here's a CT dub, but here's a 2RF. Give me that guy and have the chat. Definitely can be done. And Griff nailed it. You do not, in this situation on your ladder in your league with their limited upside, ICAT and Brown or Trindle, none of them need to be all held. Obviously, Trindle's 5'8", so keep him, and he's going to do a job till Nick goes back and has buy coverage. But Griff nailed it. Brown or ICAT has to go for a CT dub improvement. It's simple as that. And then with your McHugh and Egan thing, keep him till you trade one of these, and you need to keep Kennedy because Iongi doesn't play 16, so you need that buy coverage, and he does a job, and he's in like a high-powered offense, and if you made finals, he's a great like VC option potentially type guy who could potentially score 100 on a sleepy Friday arvo at Shark Park when you're in round 23. You just don't know with that finals run. I just showed you they got a gun matchup, guys, so I think keep him. Worst case, you trade him for a serious upgrade somewhere, and you just hope that Iongi does the job for you. But yeah, that's my read on things. Anything come to mind before we move on after I spoke for a bit, Griff?
No, I don't think so. I think it's either you go for a hooker or you don't. Play the auto emergency, but still means that you're going to have to thin your team out because you don't want auto emergency nightmares either. So.
Yeah, this depth here can be leveraged to upgrade your team. Given where you're at, it's not over. Like, look at these guys at 6, 6, 7. Like, it's definitely not over. But your scoring is so bad compared to a guy like Nick, who's just had crazy bad luck. Look at the luck you've had to beat this guy who scored 700 more points. This guy another 700 more points. Like, you clearly have had some crazy luck or like a good start, and now you've nosedived. You can't be mucking around because you're the weakest team in this list of teams that are shown and still out of finals, if that makes sense. So, and again, you don't know the full story whether these guys have tapped out. Like, is Mitch not even updating his team now after that and is cruising in after a hot start? I don't know, but the way I see it, mate, get chatting to your league and use the tools at your disposal that are all there for targets and league insights and make your moves. Team 2, I forgot I'm not sharing my screen like an idiot. When I was talking about that, I like to turn it off when we're chatting, and then I forgot to turn it back on. It's my bad. So I'll just go back. So I was talking about all this. So like, he's low. He's in here. Scores are really low, and then he's got all this depth, but people would have seen it at the start, so he knows what to do. My apologies for that. But yeah, team 2, Lucas Mentos, who's been around for a while. He's now first of 12. He's 11-3 after this week. 11-3 after this week. Finals, top 8, 23-26. So he's heading towards finals. He's been cruising. He's one of the most active guys I've seen in trades and waivers. Just FYI, Griff, he is like every week chatting trades, and I think he's a testament to the great saying that you coined: "If you ain't trading, you fade him." Because this young fella, Dolphins fan, from up around my way, has earned his way into the top of his league. So yeah, what were your thoughts when you had a look at Lucas's team?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's very well rounded as well, and obviously, even just picking up somebody like Sutton to help you out with Heinz's injury at the moment and all that sort of stuff. It's just, I don't really have too much to say here. I mean, Campbell Graham's obviously got another injury, so if you can potentially move him on. But at the end of the day, really, I mean, there's not much weakness there. Like, it's only whether or not you want to potentially try to get another front row for McKaylee, or if you want a 2RF instead of Crichton, you know what I mean? So Crichton's obviously not been setting the world on fire either, but like your CT dubs, I mean, your halves are going to be their gun. Teddy, you got Mulatalo to come in and out with those 4 guys there, so that's perfect as well. And then obviously McInnes can be and Sutton will eventually just be dropped at a pinch whenever needed and all that sort of stuff too. So yeah, there's not too much that needs to be moved there, especially being 11-3 and sitting on top. But I guess it's just more now just looking at that 23-26 finals, and if you can make moves to set up that Manly run or set up that. I think the outside backs of Cronulla are pretty good too. On that run.
If you could.
So, it's pretty much just that, really.
Yeah, agree. And he's got like even cool, like getting Jewel is just a lifesaver for just if Teddy goes down,
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. He's definitely like earned the right to be at the top. A few things stand out to me. I think let's just like like Crichton, as you mentioned, that's one for me. I think like Alamotti at some point to sell because if he's not on the wing, he's limited. Like you could go and filter in the draft oracle, for example, his centre versus wing scores. It'd be pretty, it'd
Yeah.
be pretty blasphemous. I'm sure I can
Well, it's
probably
got
do
here
it in a
consider
sec.
trading. Consider trading
Oh,
Alamotti.
does it have in there? Yeah. So
Number one for right center even. So
yeah, true. So what
yeah.
that's doing is the Oracle's engine is basically seeing that Alamotti's recent scores are way above either his previous and that his upcoming games or in the finals are like pretty tough. So
Yeah.
that's one thing to consider, Lucas, is just selling high on guys. And when you're in this situation, like with being at the top and being having such a good record, I was in this situation last year. Like it's it's really important to be thinking ahead and go like, well, what are like the worst case scenarios that can play out? And like Hines re-injuring, how are you managing that? Like Sutton, yeah, but he's got a finals bye. Can you plan ahead where once you hit your rhythm and Hines comes back, is there someone you can stash off waivers that is a bit better for finals if Hines was to go down? Because now that he has that soft tissue injury, you want to just be thinking around that. Because as good as this team is, not having Hines is a huge hit to a team even this good in the finals when you're coming up like against a Ponga VC or whatever Nathan Cleary type teams that don't have buys in finals. And if Hines goes down again with that soft tissue injury around 19 or whatever, he won't come back till close to finals of NRL.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
when you're sitting this pretty and the small bench hurts, like the standard bench in this day and age is brutal. You can't do too much, but just be thinking like, what hurts my team the most? It's probably losing Hines, Dylan Lucas with Origin, and Dylan Lucas has been injury prone, not this year. Touch wood and credit to people that bought in on Lucas. I definitely had an opportunity to, and I missed on that for a different package. He's been brilliant. Goes off to Origin. Is he someone can you get Olakawatu for Lucas? Like, is that something that you can kind of build to a better finals run? And you get off the Origin incumbent Lucas and the injury risk of Lucas, and you get on a bit of that Fosball there. Lucas is one that stands out to me. Val Holmes again, like going well in a bad team. Do you want to be chained to the Dragons in finals? Is that another way to get off
Well,
that
I'd be
sort of
going
thing?
for KL Hero.
Yeah,
I'd be trying to get. I mean, I know he's got Cronulla everywhere,
yeah,
but realistically, yeah, maybe that is a bit too much to go for KL Hero. But I mean, it's got KL Hero, Tolo Cooler, Val Holmes as being targets for that
yeah,
finals run.
yeah. And you just
He's
sniff
got two
around
out
and
of the
see.
three already.
Like, unfortunately, Mark Nongwuenituasa came back and hit his highest score of the season, so he's now kind of like unfortunately not gettable. But what if someone's desperate and he's gone to Origin, which he has? Dude,
Yeah,
Alamotti and Val Holmes in a certain package with I don't know with Angus Crichton, someone will say yes to that, and you get Mark and really go the next level in that CT Dub area.
that's true.
But I think the other spot, like I love that Lucas got a McKaylee because I've been hammering him for a few weeks on the waiver pickup. A few weeks ago, hammering him for a few weeks in a row, and it hadn't really happened. But that is an area that's pretty weak. Couchy's not getting dual, so. But again, like you've got Fanua Blake, and in that screenshot, he scored 77 on the weekend this weekend, so he like went better this weekend. Fanua Blake, so this weekend gone, so yeah, he's okay. But then Origin. Maybe Fanua Blake can go for someone like so you don't have too much Sharks exposure. But again, I wouldn't be forcing that either. I don't think there's much to say here. It's a great team. I'd just be really thinking, okay, what's the worst case scenario for you? It's Herbie and Hines go down. What can you do to mitigate? Is there anything you can do to mitigate? Just
Well,
be thinking.
there's probably another thing that I probably gloss over it as well. But even on your trade targets for the finals, I think we forget that locks are in there. You know what I mean? So there's some locks that are front row forward eligible as well. But like it's got here to target Hamish Stewart, Cameron Murray, and Aaron Clark. And I wouldn't mind. I don't know how much Cameron Murray's actually. I don't think it'd be too much, to be honest.
No,
But
not
even
with
to try and
Origin.
get, even if you just wanted to upgrade Crichton to Cameron
Yeah,
Murray or something like that, you know what I mean? And
it's a good one.
yeah,
Bit of
so
diversity too. I like it. Like just
yeah, well,
different
I
team.
think the Souths have actually got a decent run for their forwards for some reason. It's got David
Yep.
Fafita in here, obviously, as well.
Yep.
Um, So yeah, that finals run, they're looking at that. I mean, there's Dom Young, Brian Toto now that he's probably hit a little bit of form. Even try to, if you could flip, I mean, you probably could. Like at home, I mean, I think Brian Toto's only averaging 60. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
yeah, he's
So
been bad, yeah.
yeah, so even trying to get Alamotti and
Yeah.
Campbell Graham for him or something like that, I don't
Dude,
know. Like,
someone would have to do Alamotti for him. Alamotti's been better than Toto, and then you do know that you're getting at least the winger for Penrith in the finals,
yeah,
which is the
exactly.
spot you want. I don't think you really want Alamotti at centre personally.
No,
Just like we've seen McLean and Jenkins. McLean's a way better player, but look at Jenkins' scores. It all
yeah.
benefits from the better players inside him. It's the same story on the right.
Oh, so
Um,
skilled. He could have got such a big score on the weekend.
oh,
And
I don't want to talk about it, mate. It broke me. Yeah, it was
yeah,
it was a tough weekend. But yeah, happy days. Lucas is cruising. Just think ahead, mate. And yeah, it's just not much. I just get off Crichton and have a look at your marginal upgrades.
that's it.
Dave's a bit more interesting because he is really feeling the pinch, he reckons, and just he's had so many trades nearly come to life. I've seen in the Discord. We've all said, "Yep, go for it, mate," and he goes. And then 20 minutes later, he comes back. Oh, the bloke saw a post from NRL Physio 2 minutes ago. Just shit like that, and like it
Yeah,
breaks your heart when you're watching someone fight tooth and nail, and then
yeah,
stupid rumors of Karaz, who ended up playing and went well, and then the trade didn't happen. It's like, well, so be it. Dave's willing to make some moves. He said it is. So I said tough team to trade. I meant tough league to trade in, just in
tough.
the
Yeah,
sense that they're clued on, and because Dave has won or been quite successful there, he does say they just it's a bit harder for him. They kind of have a bit of a thing not against him, but it's tougher
yeah.
for him, So
We all know it. We all know.
yeah, and I think they enjoy him not going red hot. So a few things to note before you take over is that like Haas has been gone for him, but he's back. I think that's pretty big, especially he's done a great job scrapping that 2RF together. Hosking, Katonga, I think both do a job, both play buys. He's done good there. Galvin, one of the steals of the draft I keep talking about, given his price and how good he's been. This is a screenshot from last week because Galvin just had another good score at the weekend. Yeah. Karaz, same deal. McLean Origin hurts. Toya Origin hurts. He's done well to get Iongi. He's done well to stash Nafahu. I hope he got to hold him for this week. That's terrific stashing.
Yeah.
But the iPad Haas, now he's lost Coruscant to Origin. God, that's rough. Robson. There's a lot of good bits here, but again, I think it's a 10-team league. He's only sent me the screenshot of the 9, but I assume it's 10. Yeah, he hasn't never said that it's 12. So, yeah, 6 and 8. 7 and 7, 8 and 6. Those I don't think you're catching the 9 and 5 up there in the top 3. You're right on the cusp. I assume it's top 6 finals. I assume it's 5 or 6 finals. So, what did you make of this when you read it? I probably didn't give you the story that he said like that he's willing to make some moves. So, but let me know what you thought when you had a look at this.
Yeah, obviously he's only struggled because of Haas, really. Because I look at the team, it's actually pretty well rounded.
Yeah,
the only thing, like, it's the same old cliche with me with holding two like very good hookers.
Yeah.
So for me, you got to pick one. Like Coruscant or Robson. There's not many people that are. There's a lot of people that would love another hooker. So I think they're sellable, either one, whichever one you decide to stay with. But also, if you do make finals, am worried about your Raiders players. You do have a lot of Raiders players. So my needs would be 5'8" CT double fullback, depending on what you want to do with Iongi. But in saying that, there's nothing wrong with Iongi. Like I don't think there's too much really going on there. I think the CT dubs are actually really good.
Yeah, they are.
But the fact that you got Jerry and Tamale, they can be moved on for something if needed, or even Tomoko, to be honest. But in saying that, if you did move Karaz on, like, that's fine too. You know what I mean? Because you're obviously going to get a top tier player for him anyway. So
yeah.
But yeah, Hosking, I do love Hosking, but he does have an expiry date once Sasangi's back. I think maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, he does. I'll chime in there if you don't mind.
Yep.
So they said 3 to 4 potentially for Sasangi, and then potentially not. And Noah Martin has a potential no return date because it was dual syndesmosis, so recovering them is like really hard because he can't even like move to kind of get them going because they're both not going. So the Hosking train goes on for at least till at least the next buy round, I would say.
Yeah.
And even then, it's like, okay, if Sasungi comes back, Hosking just goes the other edge, you know.
Yeah. No,
So,
I agree,
but
but at the
I hear
same
you
time,
with the final.
he does have an injury history too.
Oh, he does too, 100%.
Yeah, and
It's
in gamer.
huge in gamer. It's a ticking time bomb. And I
Yeah.
wanted to touch on, because I know Dave will sit here spewing, but this man has tried to trade these hookers like no tomorrow, which obviously you
Right.
don't know. But I want to tell you the story.
Yeah.
What his league's done to him is gone, oh, you want to get rid of one of your hookers? Well, we'll leave him with you because you're going to have to drop one anyway. And they're forcing him into this hole because he knows if he drops them, then they'll just grab it. He nearly had a
Well,
few deals,
who
but yeah.
are they the teams that are below him?
Yeah, I don't know the
Because
detail.
at the end of the day, I'd be just going back to the teams that are below you or even just near you. And if they are literally just running, Brandon Smith or
Yeah,
whatever,
crosslet like me.
cross exactly.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot, like mate, there's a lot of leagues that are doing that,
Yeah, 100% there is.
And so if they want to do that, that's fine. You got 5 bench spots anyway. Just hold it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it would be nice to get rid of something. And, if you have to take 80 cents or 90 cents on the dollar for it, maybe you do that anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think as well, like the best way to do it, which he's been trying to do, is throw-ins. Is make them the throw-in. Find the
Yeah,
guys that
that'd be the better
could
scenario.
use it and look for something else, and then go here's here's the hooker. Now chuck me that. Where do you sit as someone who loves risk and loves upside and all that stuff with the Karaz piece? Now that it's like had the 2 fullback games to get himself back into form, then he did well as a winger on the weekend, which is
Yeah.
big for people. Where are
Yeah.
you sort of sitting with Karaz? I think he plays round 18. I'll just double check the round 18 thing. But where are you at on the Karaz? Because I sort of was all about the sell when it made the most sense to sell.
Yeah.
Now, for some people, I'm sort of saying to them, they're kind of going, oh, do I sell Karaz this week? And I've actually said, if you need wins, you probably need to just whip this horse dead. Like your season probably is in that point where if what you get back from him doesn't hit soon, then you're better off of just running Karaz to the point that he does an injury. And then if he doesn't, he could be a key to you winning as a VC or something. Where are you on the whole Karaz piece, mate?
Yeah, it's a real tough one, man, because it was like I actually had him as my captain this week,
He
and it was
doesn't play 18, by the way. Sorry, I just want to shout that out. So
right.
Karaz, no 15, no 18.
No 15, no 18. So when's their next buy then?
I think they're done after 18. So they buy on 18.
Oh, they buy on 18. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, in my league, obviously I don't play buys, so that's okay. But look, he was a real tough watch. When I say he was a real tough watch, every run he looked injured, but also every run he was
injured.
amazing. You know what I mean? As in, like, he was tackle busting, offloading, and don't get me wrong, he was offloading when he shouldn't have offloaded. He was just throwing that ball around. You know what I mean? And that's great for Supercoach, but it's not great for when the team's going bad and they're only just scraping wins and their attack is putrid. I mean, if he plays fullback again, like next week or the week after or whenever they're playing again, then I'm happy to ride him for the rest of the season. But if he's just going to be on that wing, man, like, mate, Jerry had him wide open and couldn't even hit him. You know what I mean? Like, just drop the ball like nothing else. They've just got nothing. I just don't think that Connor Tracy gives them anything at fullback. He had a great game. Yeah, I mean, Supercoach wise as well. I think he hit 90.
Yeah,
but it's just for their team, it just doesn't work. And I just thought Karaz playing fullback the last 2 weeks, he at least just gave him that power, Teddy, Dylan Edwards type game. You know what I mean? Where they can just they can just run over people and make things happen anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just look, the Dogs are very frustrating. They've got a lot of good pieces, but they're just so bad at attack. You know what I mean? And so to me, it is a bit of a ticking time bomb, but it's hard to let go of somebody that's doing what he's doing right now, because he's been amazing the last 3 weeks.
I think if you're not getting back something that's like immediately valuable, and I'm talking like even like someone like Bostock to me is immediately valuable because he plays this round, right? 15.
Yes.
So just an example, I wouldn't necessarily do that. I'm just sharing.
Yeah.
One thing we missed on this, and it's because it's in bright yellow, is and I do saw him mention it in the chat. He's willing to shift Haas this week because he's gone to
Yeah.
Origin now, and then they don't play 16, and like he just needs to just be banking wins. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
What he gets, but I think he offered Haas for Ford. What does that do for you as a guy who wants wins? Is Ford's
Yeah, if it's a
run
guy,
over?
yeah,
Or...
I mean, yeah, it's fine. It's fine because, like, yeah, we know what Haas can do, but Ford's already doing it.
And he can play, bro. He's playing the next
That's
2
what I
weeks.
mean. That's
I'd
it. Like,
rather the
yeah,
80. I'd rather like the 70 and the 80 from Ford for 150 than the Haas 0-0.
yeah,
That
exactly.
150 can
No,
win you one of the
100%.
weeks. Yeah.
And it's the same with like, okay, well, he's playing Origin as well, but like,
Yeah.
if you just went like Karaz to Mark or something like that, the fact he's got Toy, he probably doesn't need to. But
He probably needs to think about Toya before Karaz even as well.
yeah,
Like
I would
Toya
say
for
so
Bostock
too.
would be doable. If I owned, which I do own buttons, and the Toya owner said you want Toya for Bostock, I'd have a hard time saying no, bro.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But
No, I
maybe
would too.
people are dumber, so they'd say no. Bostock's amazing, and Bostock is. Don't get me wrong, I'm loving the Bostock
Yeah,
show.
but
But
he's five games in compared to Karaz's 9. So
and just I love the idea of the Roosters in the back end of the season. Something about that.
well, I guess the only other thing is what is the draw for for the Dolphins as well. You know what I mean? So, like, I just feel like they've just been playing all teams out of form lately.
Yeah, they've been farming teams. It's hard to
That's what I'm
sort of
saying. Like,
trade like to sell them because like you look at like I was looking at today. I don't know if I mentioned the matchups video. I think it was the matchups video. I was like, bro, the Dolphins are just farm. Like the outside backs are just farming. It's just Herbie Gunn, Selwyn Gunn, Sarko and Bostock have had the gun matchup for like 8 weeks in a row, and then they just convert on it. They score
yeah.
80 plus every week, effectively. But
So
I
they got
think
the bad matchup this week. but really, is it when you look
no,
at that Roosters team that just got
no,
named?
it ain't it, bro. It's
It's
not a
horrendous.
bad matchup.
And
No.
then they go Tigers, Warriors at home, like the Warriors
Yeah,
at Dolphins,
that's all right.
No,
Yeah,
at Dolphins, right?
yeah,
They got Newcastle, which is during the Origin, so that's
yeah.
round 18. They got Sharks round 19, Cowboys that are bye, then Dragons, Broncos, Manly, Para,
Oh, bro,
Roosters, and they finish with Titans. So
hard to give up. So, dude,
it is a bit harder when you look at
would
that.
you
North.
trade Toya or McLean to get Bostock? Or either, whichever. Would you give an option to the Bostock owner and say Toya or McLean, given they're both at Origin and this bloke needs wins?
I would try Toya first.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't get off my boy McLean.
Yeah. And you're a Panther
even though I
fan.
should, yeah. But
Yeah.
but in saying that, like I still think McLean, well, he's still doing a little bit better. But I mean, if you have to get that win, and you could go McLean to Bostock, then yeah, I probably would do it.
Yeah. Fullback wise, not the be all end all. Is there anything like? I don't think the Suafal Longo owner's doing that. Is there any fullbacks that you can get with Iongi? Not really. Hey, what Iongi probably is he's not well enough known for how good he is that you can
He's
actually
in a
give him an
tier break.
upgrade.
He's in a tier break by himself at the moment.
Yeah.
Like before the season had started, I would have clumped together probably Iongi and Jai Gray, but Jai Gray's just been that bad.
No, he's been that bad. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that Iongi's he's a tier above him, but like a Will Kennedy, he's still not at Iongi's level for me.
No.
But in saying that, if I'm trying to get wins, I might do that because I mean, at the end of the day, Iongi's in a bad team.
Yeah, I know a lot of people feel that way. Yeah. I just think Iongi has like the once rare, like other than a few blokes like Edwards and like Tommy and a few, he's got like actual try scoring chops. Iongi, he's so hard to handle from 10 meters out. Probably just roll Iongi. I just want to chat about it, but yeah, there's definitely moves you can make. I think Haas has to go because he has such value. Like someone said, if I owned nearly any other front row and they said here's Haas, I would do that. So I think you can definitely get him off value, name value. Got to do the hooker thing and get a throw in somehow. Yeah, and then
no, exactly right.
Yeah, and then Karaz, I can actually see the argument for holding him given you need wins. It's just he doesn't play 15. And then I'd be using Toya or Karaz or McLean to try to find one of these CT dubs that plays the next like big amount of games that's good. And the only name I can think of is Bostock or Osako because they play the buys. They have play weak teams, and they're in the best attack, mate, with that Isaiah Katoa. I think like Karaz for Osako is not the worst. If you could then nearly do Toya for Bossok and just double down and just go Dolphins to the moon is like crazy, but it could literally work.
Yeah, 100%. No, and as I said, that run, that should be fine. But Ronaldo potentially.
Oh, Ronaldo, good call, but
You know what I mean? Like,
it's hard to get a guy for 120 though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. But the Kaolero maybe.
Oh yeah, he's been a bit mediocre. Kaolero is a good shout. Yeah,
like if you're moving just one for one there, like Kaolero,
you could do Toya and Coruscant for Eero. You should be able to nearly get that if he needs a hooker, or Toya and Tamale for Eero is definitely. And I don't think his league would do it because you got to think that Eero owner's probably up there going, "Well, I don't need to fucking make this trade. What are you on about?" But
exactly.
They're things to think about anyway, Dave. Good luck, mate. I know you're battling hard, and that's. I don't know if you guys probably haven't seen the Rafa Nadal doco that's been out on Netflix. It's an absolute game changer, but his whole thing is like it's a privilege to compete. And so I know you're competing, mate. So you're doing
love Nadal, mate. Love him.
Yep.
He's one of my faves.
Oh, good on you, mate. Yeah, I wish I knew more about him in his glory days. I didn't really know as much about him as this doco
followed
shared
his whole
about
thing,
him.
man. I loved him.
Bro, you're ahead of you're onto it because if you watch this doco on Netflix, mate, I nearly cried in episode 2, bro. I could not believe he
played with a lot of pain.
Yeah. I didn't know all that stuff, and I didn't know like just his mindset, bro, around competing. I was like, this guy's built different. He's like,
100%.
Anyway, for Baz, he's sitting in 5th. Again, similar, very active, very, very active, always making trades, always asking who to buy low, which I really appreciate and respect. He said 1st to 8th is separated by 6 points, meaning 3 wins. So very tight, nice very arm wrestle league.
Sounds like my league.
Yeah, nice. Plays top 5 and all bye rounds, finals 23 to 26, which is a good theme because we know that what the target teams are, which is like Sharks, bit of Bunnies, Manly, Titans sort of stuff. So he's got that covered with Kinney, Mulatalo, Camperera. He's got Tino, like really nice forward pack. Bit Origin impacted, unfortunately. Now he's got like Tino, Lucas, Yo at Origin, Sammy Walker's at Origin. Mark McLean at Origin now, so pretty grim for this buy. He's obviously probably takes a few hits coming up. Yeah. I noticed no captains, which I have only ever played once and freaking hated that season, so I can't really comment on it. What stood out to you about Baz's team, mate?
Yeah, like once again, having an Iyongi and a Kinney is an embarrassment of riches on your bench. Same with D Brown and Sam Walker. So to me, like that'd be probably and like those CT dubs. Oh my god, you know what I mean? Like you've hit the jackpot with all of those, and then even Mulatalo on your bench. Like come on, and then even Camperera at a pinch.
Yeah,
so the only real downside is probably Jaden Sewer. You know what I mean? Like I'd be fine to just run Kolomatangi and Tino. I'll be just trying to find another 2RF and then potentially even a 5'8". But you know what? Savala's actually been good.
He's been awesome. Yeah. Can't say no. Yeah.
The only risk is having too many roosters.
Yeah, got a lot of roosters.
Because they only have to have one game in the wet or up against Penrith, or
they could tank a finals matchup. You got a lot of exposure there.
That's the only thing I'd be worried about.
If you could do like any like lesser CT dub like Camperera or those other starting 4, I can't even say, but even if it's McLean because of Origin and you want wins, if you could do like McLean and Walker for like Jaden Campbell plus to get you off the Walker Origin and then into like a bit more of a finals vibe and just diversify from this amount of.
I don't mind that. I actually
Roosters.
think that's real good, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Because the Roosters do play Penrith away in round 24. So
yeah, and that's a big round in finals for most people. There's no way to not be playing in that with all setups. I think all setups play 24. And what I mean by that is like if you have a bye in round 1 and then like for like the minor premier or whatever, I'm pretty sure all teams will like have to play in 24 because I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty confident. So I just think like Sam Walker playing Origin and he's had some good scores. Obviously the -1 sucks, but he bounced back with 110 plus. So like I would love for you to bite the bullet and go, look, I've got McLean and Jenkins. I've got Mulatalo. let me do a deal where either they love Walker or McLean or both, and then I get Campbell. You need someone else good back. This has to be a win-win. Like I don't want you selling 2 for 1 there. What
Yeah,
Campbell gives you is just a completely different realm of upside in a different team that with a good finals run that plays your buys
yeah,
because you're fifth and you play top 5. It can go either way. The only caveat to what I said is sometimes when you've got a team build like this where your forwards are good, not amazing, like but they're good, and then like your fullbacks like not amazing but decent, and your halves are like good. It's like if your CT dubs are this good, sometimes you need to actually just realize that's your whole team and just go, don't touch them and just rip and just go like, yep. And like I don't want to like create a video and say don't do anything, but there is an argument that you just maybe do like a Dylan Brown for a 2RF upgrade, something like that, because
yeah,
Stuart's
yeah.
injured, and I know he said he's got like Nickera, and I told him like Jordan Ricky was on his waivers. I said, mate, waiver for Ricky, I think it was, because I'm big on Ricky coming back early and whatnot. But sometimes what I want to talk about, Griff, was like when your CT dubs are this good, you nearly don't diminish them because they're nearly the key for you to potentially do it.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Yeah, I
But
was
yeah.
just thinking as a bit of an alternative strategy.
Well, my only other issue with getting Campbell would be the fact that then you're very tied to the Titans with
Well, then
Kinney,
you've got to move
Tino.
Kinney. Maybe you could do Kinney. I know it sounds stupid, but like Kinney for like not Jai Gray, but you know what I'm saying? Like a Will Kennedy, like you do a downgrade to just diversify and get something else back and kind of thing. Like, because if I was a Will Kennedy owner and it's all I had for whatever reason, I'd be like, yeah, I'll take.
Dream
Oh yeah,
Buller, KO Weeks, Reese Walsh.
bro. If you did like Kinney and Mulatalo, you should be able to get Reece Walsh at Origin. Then you can
Yeah,
stash him, run Iongi, and then if Reece Walsh comes good, you got way more upside. Or if things are looking 50-50, you just move Walsh on again, right?
yeah. Well,
If
there's another one that people probably don't even think about, and that's Tane Tuapika. He's averaging 62.
True. Just don't know, like, with his job security, but not the end of the world. I like that shout for the buy coverage. That's one good thing you did shout out. And Kinney's
Yeah,
buy coverage is actually quite good. So, you know, you can just play him when Iongi's off on 16. But you've got to move Brown or Kinney because, like, you in a four man bench, like that type of coverage, I think it's a bit overs type thing. I know you
yeah,
play buys, just navigate, figure it out with the buy planner in the Origin planner, sorry, in Oracle, and just make sense of it all and get a plan together. I wouldn't even mind moving Walker for some sort of upgrade, or doing it so that you can kind of move Walker to someone that plays more now. But yeah,
yeah.
the Kinney Walker Tino stack would be a bit rough. I wouldn't enjoy that because
You need to go through the Origin planner because
there's still a lot at stake here,
there's
mate.
still that's what I mean. There's too many buys here, and you can just make one move going, oh, that fixes this week,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden next week, oh shit, they're on buy. You
and
know
when
what I
you're
mean?
in
So
top 5 and you're 5 and everyone's separated
yeah,
by 3 points, you get it wrong. And
yeah,
it's if you lose 3 rounds because you screwed up your buys, you need to get in the buy planner or the Origin planner on Oracle because your season's in the balance right now with these buys and where your talent's sitting. You've got so many moving pieces with coverage that it looks and feels amazing, but it's not refining your team to actually take you off this 5 and into the top 3, which is achievable given the separation. So
yeah, exactly.
this will be a masterclass in you making decisions in the margins of upgrades that actually keep you afloat through the periods while building some upside. So really interesting team, this one.
So
Is that anything else that jumps out to you?
yeah, like just circling back to Tuapika, he only misses 18 from here,
Mm,
and his 3 round average is 69. His 5 round average is 73.
what's
So it's
Chance
actually
doing? That's my thing,
I
mate.
I think his neck injury. I think he's done. To be
Oh,
fair,
true. Okay. Well,
yeah, he's had a neck injury well, he hasn't played since. Let me have a look.
yeah, it's like round like 4 or
Nickel
5
Fox
or
stat.
6 or something. Round
He
6
hasn't
or
played since round 7.
7, right?
So we're in round 15 this week. So
True. And maybe it's
8,
one of
9,
them.
10, 11. Yeah. Oh
Just yeah,
boy.
and do your due diligence. Maybe it's like, so what if you, yeah, like Kinney for him, and like it goes wrong. At least you tried. Maybe it's a great one to go for. It's the guy that goes under the radar. I think great call out, Griff. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
just for a cheap one. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
just a cheaper deal if you could get it. You know what I mean?
And just
Like,
mixes it up, and that's a good one to do.
yeah,
Maybe if you secure the JC deal, then you go Kate Kinney for Tane and make it happen. Who has picked up Jewel recently? Like you could do Kinney and Khan Pereira for like Cooler who's at Origin and tell the bloke, here, mate, here's some stuff you can play with. Like both Khan Pereira and Kinney play the buys, which again, Baz, you might need them to play for you because you need to win buys too. But you might be able to get Cooler, who has like the dual that gives you fullback coverage in finals. He might be a better player at fullback than Iongi when the boys are humming. You know what I'm saying? Like, same deal is like if Faulolo gets dropped, he's a decent stash for people if you're listening. Because if Tommy goes down and Faulolo pops back up in finals, watch.
I think it was. I'm not sure if me and you talked about it last time, that we believe that Faulolo could even take sub spot. They moved Garrick. They moved Garrick back to the wing, and he goes in at center. So
or he does go.
The injury just really hurts that now.
I know, and the other thing, because it's a hammy too, which is just what are the chances? And then the other thing is, there's even a world that they ease Tommy back in for a couple of weeks at center, and then Faulolo stays or Cooler goes fullback. There's so much moving parts. I don't know, but you want to slice a Manly. But good luck, Baz. You got a good team, and you got to really. I see you play hard. Just like we spoke about Dave. I love when the community. These are like the diehard guys in the chat. Griff, Baz, and Dave are in there a lot.
Nice.
So good luck, and you're in an arm wrestle league, so all these decisions matter. You have to be leveraging the tools in the Oracle for a situation like this specifically. Someone like Dave, I could see him not bothering, whereas like with Baz, with the Origin planner, I'd want to be making sure that if I get this guy, what impact does that have on my stuff, Baz? So stay locked into that and your upcoming runs and all that stuff with form. Mate, that'll probably do it. We've done pretty well, sub an hour. A lot to break. Those last two teams, there was a fair bit going on there, bro. That was it's interesting when they're in deeper leagues or close leagues with captains or no captains is interesting. Keeps it a bit open. So, any last thoughts, mate?
No, I think that's about it. Look, it's just that period of time at the moment in the Origin period. It's we don't even know what's going to happen next Wednesday night. That could change all the scenarios that we just put forward.
Such a good point.
Yeah, so it is what it is, but that's why we do it, and that's why I guess we'll keep coming on and doing these sort of things because they get out of date pretty quick, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. And mate, with where we're at in the season, let's say like most people play 23, some 22, most 23. We're at round 15. What do you make of have you had a season in recent times where you learn a lesson around rounds 15, 16, 17 that set you up, or what's the cutoff period for going all in? When do we need to be doing these things? Is there anything you can think of and recall?
Yeah, it is around now that you got to start thinking a bit. What I've always done is I've tried to always start the season with some stashes. And then eventually I'll try to build my bench into actual players that of need throughout the season. But it's almost at around this point, maybe a couple more weeks, maybe after the last buy, the Origin buy, is I want to thin my bench like nothing else from there. You know what I mean? Because I want to make sure that I've traded as much value as I can before the whips are cracking in the finals. Obviously, teams in different positions have a different take on that. But if you're middling or in the top part, it's just always being a shark and always just going for those players at the bottom. You know what I mean? And just keep feeding those guys saying mate, do you want to win? Do you want to are you trying to turn your season around? Are you trying to do this? It's a lot harder to do, obviously, when you're down the bottom, right? But down the bottom, you just got to do the opposite. Then you just go for matchups, and then you start actually just selling things for actually a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The 80 cents, whatever it is. But that's just to get you to the finals.
100%, because anything can happen. A few things to take off what you said. You nailed a few things. The first one is 3 deals on 80 cents on the dollars isn't a loss if they serve you 2 to 3 rounds immediate value.
100%.
Bostock is a great example. Any top CT dub for a guy like Bostock who plays 15, 16, 17, 18, I think even 19 even. If he does that for you and averages somewhere between, and on those weeks, not what he's averaging out, but somewhere between 60 and 85, and you gave away a guy that averaged 85 but was at Origin, you need them points every week, okay? Yeah. That's not the end of the world, because one thing we know for sure, and to your point of thinning your bench, depending on your team setup and what you're doing, but in finals, the guys get injured. Guys get rested. You
like
waiver
nothing
churn
else.
like crazy. You end up with
Yeah,
such a weird team. On finals day last year, I ran out Billy Burns and Hiroti because
yeah,
of the way the injuries and restings happen for everyone. So you need to just realize that all this bench depth that's got you this far, it's time to cut bait and
yeah,
take a loss on an upgrade somewhere else, or a playing warm body in
yeah.
many instances and Bostock's still not a good example because he's like a
Well,
bit good, but I'm
yeah,
giving like the buy coverage example, the
yeah, yeah,
KO
yeah.
weeks or the
Yeah,
even
yeah.
strength, whatever the
I know what
frick,
you're saying.
you know what I'm
So
saying? Buy
yeah,
coverage guy.
round 20 onwards, right? Anybody that gets any injury is potentially season ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just is. You know what I mean? A 4 to 5 week injury is now season ending.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't know when they're coming back. Yeah, sure, you could drop them to waivers like every year. Like I remember Nico Hines getting injured 2 years ago. He was on waivers. I picked him up for the grand final.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like because
Yeah.
he was on waivers because the guy that had him,
Just had
he
to make moves.
had
Yeah.
to make a move. He was out for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those sort of things happen towards the end as well. So I think the same year, yeah, Sean Johnson got dropped as well. So I actually had both, and I actually played the wrong one.
Oh, true.
I actually played Hines, and I should have actually played Sean Johnson.
Yeah. How could
So
you? Yeah. Yeah.
exactly, but
Yeah.
like,
That's
and I think I actually had Cleary that year, and he went down. Like it
yeah.
was a crazy year,
And those
crazy.
things happen where like you go
Yeah,
into it thinking I've got this perfect lineup. It's like
exactly.
I remember I've like had like I remember I played to play Kurt Donahue and he was going good. And then another year I won, I had to like play Nicarima, and it was just like these guys because injuries and starts and just all these things were going crazy. And so
Yeah,
the point is don't be too precious. And then the flip side is if you are doing okay, and the shark thing, it is literally looking at guys that are on the cusp and going, hey mate, and like this is a perfect example. Last year I had a great 1-for-1. I had Tarpanay, this bloke had Carrigan. He had a buy that week. This bloke's on the cusp. I just said Tarpanay for Carrigan. He's like, oh, I love Carrigan. I'm like, mate, he's literally not playing for you this week. If you lose this week and next, you don't make finals.
yeah.
Oh, okay. And I got Carrigan and he did the job for me that I needed him to do.
Well, he's up
And
for
he
grabs right now too. He's injured.
Exactly. And I'm
Yeah,
just saying, like, that is you just look at who's on the cusp if you are close or above or whatever, who needs wins, and just go, mate, hey, Walsh has gone to Origin. He misses this week and next. I've got Kinney. Do you want a warm body, mate? Let's do the deal. Done. Walsh for Kinney.
yeah.
Whereas, yeah, whether you want to do that now with what Walsh has thrown up with the matchups he had, he did nothing on two back-to-back elite matchups.
If you've got Walsh, you're down near the bottom. Like if
100%.
you drafted him, if
Oh,
you
100%.
drafted him,
Oh,
he's been
1,000%.
traded in many
Bro,
leagues though.
Payne Haas, yeah, he's been swapped, yeah, Village. And Payne Haas, he's gone to Origin. These guys gone to Origin. Go get them if you're sitting pretty. If you're
Yeah,
not, trade them. They're no good to you.
that's
Not
right.
scoring points, man.
Yeah,
Payne Haas on your bench. I'd take
you got to make moves.
Bro, I'd take Xavier Wilson. No, not quite, but pretty close to taking Xavier Wilson plus someone else for Haas, and then just make. Who knows that? Who's to
That's
say?
not
Like,
actually that bad.
I'm just
To be
trying to
honest.
give people
Yeah,
the framing. Hey, like you need to
yeah,
kind of go, okay, it's a loss on Haas or Willison by 70 cents on the dollar. But if I get
yeah,
something else, it's a warm body, like a Bostock,
yeah,
that's a warm body that runs out there, could score me 80. They both score me 85 for 3 weeks in a row when Haas doesn't play.
yeah.
That's pretty good maths, mate.
Yeah, well, we're still in my league. We're in a situation where we have a fair bit of punishment for whoever comes last. So that's even something that motivates people in my league to be trading
That's a good point.
70 to 80 cents on the dollar, even at the end of the season, even if
That's
they know
such
they're
a
not
good
going to
point.
make finals, they still don't want to be last.
Yeah,
So
that's a good point.
you'll be able to get these deals. Even if you're mid-table, you should be able to start pilfering those sort of deals.
Yeah, no, that's such a good point on the teams that have punishments. You can leverage that too. It's not just,
Yeah.
oh, bro, you need to win. It's like, dude, remember coming last equals the
Yes.
punishment.
Yeah.
I've got a deal. And it doesn't have to be one thing I've been seeing a lot in the Discord and trying to push the message in my videos, and I think you've seen it, is like, it's one thing to think of buy lows and strategies. I think people get the communication piece wrong because a lot of people are just regular Joes, love their footy and whatever. They're not really thinking about the finer things in life sometimes and the nuance around negotiate, but you need to kind of come to the table with the right attitude. You don't have to be a dick.
Yeah,
It's just coming in going, hey mate, you don't want to lose because of punishment. I think this deal works out for both of us. There's risk for both of us, but are you interested in chatting about this deal? A for B, because like I then get this immediately, but you get this immediately, and I get the risk that maybe Haas comes back good or maybe doesn't after. You kind of chat it out and
yeah,
just come to the party with different blokes. And little things like don't be afraid to like try a different avenue. If they don't reply to their text, call the bloke. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if they're in your league, they're probably your mate, right? Call them, go, oh, you dickhead,
100%.
let's have a trade. Like, what's the
Yeah.
deal here? You know, like, come to the party. So if
And
you
if
ain't
you're more,
trading, you're fader, mate.
that's it. And if you're more introverted, just get ChatGPT to whip you up the message that you're going to send them.
That too, mate. That too.
Look, there's a lot of guys in my league that are very close mates, but they almost have a fear of rejection as well. So there's a lot of leagues that are stagnated because of that, right? So, but I've got mates that there's no way that they're introverted. They're extroverts like you wouldn't believe, but they have a fear of rejection.
Yeah.
So they don't even go to people to make trades.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
you've just made me think of something. That's such a good point. And sometimes it's sometimes if you haven't thought of something, but you're in the mood and you're thinking about it, message the bloke saying, "Oi, what's up with Supercoach? Have you thought of any trades? Is there any guys I own that you're interested in?"
Yeah, we do that all the time.
Because then they could just go, "Oh yeah, I saw you've got Payne Haas. I really like him." Go, "Yeah, mate, he's actually up for sale. Like, can we chat it out?"
Yeah.
Like, I had a guy make it. The first offer that come to me this year was from the guy in first, and I'm in second. And he goes, "How attached are you to Isaiah Papali'i?" And I said, "Very." I said,
hey,
"It'll have to be a Godfather deal." And he sort of come back and threw something. I said, "Mate, like, to be frank, like, the deal would have to center around these players on your team. So if you can't get there, then we don't have it." And he said, "Oh, no, I'm cool and whatever." And so we didn't get there, but it was refreshing because he smelt blood and he kind of wanted to come have a look, and he missed the mark on the deal completely. But it was good to be spoken. But you're right. Like, if I hadn't have been on him this whole season saying, "Hey mate, how much for Talis Duncan?" He probably didn't feel that the convo lines were open, but he knew they're open because I'm always so respectful of the trade deal. So great point, mate. I'm glad you raised
that. But also, there's other tricks and trades there. Like you can play everybody against each other as well. Like you don't, like, just because me and you were talking for a trade and you come to me and I'm like, shit, that's close, but that might not be the best deal I can get. 100%. So you know what I mean? I'll start shopping him around to other people, looking at other deals that I'd like to do, and just say, look, Hudzo's come to me with this. What do you think? And if someone just goes, oh man, that's a pretty good deal, okay, that is what it is. But sometimes I go, oh, I can beat that. I can give you this, this, and this. You know what I mean? So never sell yourself short either. But there's also other things. If you're on a Facebook group chat or something like that, just whack a post up. Fire sale or whatever it is, it just gets everybody at least just going, oh shit, things are available or whatever, you know.
I love the pitting against one. I always make sure I do that privately though. I don't like
of course, privately. But everybody ends up finding out. But it's okay. I did it privately.
I love to go like, hey, just letting you know, I'm moving Alex Twal tonight or tomorrow as quick as, like, you know, and I've got a good deal, but I prefer these players from your roster. Is there any interest there? And they go, yeah, or no, or maybe. And then you chat it out, and then you go back to the other guy and go, look, I've got a counter, some other blokes keen. Can you go from ICAT to Galvin? And then they go, oh, then they feel the pinch, and they might get there, and you get there. And you're good. You've got the right attitude, because you've said like things like, don't settle straight away. Go for the target you want, and then come back down. There's always a good one too. Like, you're big on that. Make sure you kind of just sniff around. The better guy, and then come back to what makes probably the most sense.
Well, there's so many times you look at you look at what's happened in your league, the transactions, and you see a trade, and you just go, I would have gave him more than that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and things like that. Like, I've seen so many trades this year. Nobody's just been pilfering everybody.
Oh, bro.
You know what I mean? He's on a tear, but in saying that, it just hasn't worked out for him yet. I'm just hoping that it does. So he's got Haas, he's got Walsh, and to me, he got him for deals that, you know, I just don't think that they're a good enough deal. I think he got Walsh for Cam Murray and Marju. Haas. That's what he got for Haas. Sorry, Cam Murray and Marju. But then that week, Marju got 200.
So the bloke felt good,
Yeah, you know what I mean? So just things like that. And then, like, even Walsh, I can't remember what it just didn't feel like enough.
What did Noble say about Walsh making Origin? Was he a bit pissed? Oh, you didn't play buyers.
Well, we don't play buyers, so he's not too worried. In saying that, though, just they might not back up. So but he's like, well, don't get me wrong, he's equal first at the moment, right? But as I said, we throw a blanket over our whole league. 16 points is top 3. They're all on 16. I'm in 4th on 14. So 11th is on 10.
True.
You know what I mean? So even last place is on 8. You know what I mean? So
we're the same.
It's real close.
Between. It's a crazy year. It's because we've seen this crazy thing where like random guys popped off at the start, like Sasungis and Tanner
Yeah.
Boyds. They're now backed off. Now
Yes.
teams that drafted pedigree have had a moment. Then your Nico Hines has
100%.
gone down. Then you've had like a resurgence of other guys like Cleary. Then you've had these big ceiling guys like the Asakos.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy, crazy weird year. The Ford guys team, he would have backed off, and then you've seen other stuff come to the fore. So it's been really weird, but no, they're good. They're all really good thoughts, and I think like I don't think we're at absolute critical red button time, but we're like 3 weeks away from that. So like if we're gonna do any more draft, we'll probably do a buy low, sell high once your work settles in the next 2 weeks or something. But I think we might do so we can squeeze in one more emergency draft doctors if enough people are keen. Would be like round probably before the next buy would be like the last chance, man. And then it's like this is last chance saloon, type thing.
Well, the other thing we can do is we can actually just go through that if you want. We could just do one on rest of season schedule. So from today till your finals, and then we can do one for just the finals as well. The same thing. So
yeah, that's true.
Just a bit some targets and whatnot that might not just be picked up through Oracle, just other things that we might be able to see.
Yeah, for sure. No, definitely happy to always go outside, like the data-driven stuff for sure. There's always different options. But look, guys, thank you everyone who submitted. More than anything, thank you everyone who listened. If it's your first time on Draft Dogs and you like the format and you like the analysis and the stuff that's more strategic, go and listen to the other episodes. The recommendations might be a bit obsolete, but the gems and the things that Griff and I might say that are sort of a light bulb moment for you, they could be definitely valuable to you from a previous episode. But more than anything, what we're trying to do is get the psychology around like managing your draft leagues, because it's way more fun to be engaged and to be trying. And if you feel things slipping, it you can take the shackles off, let your hair down and go, well, I need to send it. And then next year, you might not be in the same position. You can be a bit tighter. But if you're not in that situation, you've got to try and enjoy the ride for what it is, because you put a bit of time into pre-draft. You're watching footy. It's quite a lot of your time to this hobby. So treat it with respect and actually play hard, and you'll have more fun if it pays off. You'll really feel good about yourself and the time commitment. So thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed the video, flick it a like. And if you want to see any other different styles of content from us or whatever, just comment it so we can kind of see what people like.
Absolutely.
And stuff like that. But thanks for joining me, Griff. If you ain't trading, you're fading. We'll catch you guys in the next version.
Cheers.
See you, mate.